So let's get started. So let's do some introductions. I'm Nancy Crow. I'm the current Brave CEO. If it's getting hard to keep track of, just give us another couple weeks and there'll be a new one in. So in the past, before I was the CEO, I served as what we called the secretary, which meant nothing except I took notes. I did logistics director, so I was hauling stuff. And I was the asset management director, which was also hauling stuff, but it was a cooler title. And I've played about 2.5 years now. Almost every single day has been with BNI. So what is a leader in EVE Online? I'm not going to try to tell you how to be a leader or what you need to do to be a leader, because I'm a terrible leader, so you don't want to listen to me on that anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and say anyone who enables, motivates, encourages people to do stuff, that's a leader in EVE. So this could be your fleet commander, dude yelling at you in comms. It could be a little less sexy. It might just be someone running things behind the scenes. That's what I like to think of as like an asset management director. Sometimes it's just someone that's influential. You don't have to have any titles to be a leader, just someone that's there on comms, talks, leads people. It's all good. So let's talk about types of leaders. So I kind of broke things down into the 3 different types. So the first type I'm going to say is like the obvious ones. These are that spy alt gets in, and these are the roles that they're immediately going to try for. So CEO. Everyone knows what a CEO is. I'm not going to spend a lot of time telling you what it is. The dude running the Corp. Along with that, you get your alliance executors. Same thing, except you're dealing with corps instead of people. You get your diplomats. These guys, it depends a lot on the corp. They're either going to be really, really, really influential, or they're going to kind of sit behind the scenes and you're not going to see a whole lot of them. But they're the guys that are making relationships, breaking relationships, figuring out who you're supposed to shoot at and who you're not supposed to shoot at. Fleet commanders, any PvP corp, you got to have fleet commanders. They're the guys that honestly are going to have some of the most interactions with your line members. They're the ones that line members are going to see every day. So you want them to be strong leaders. You want them to be happy with the rest of the management, because if they're not happy, they're going to do nothing but bitch about the rest of the management, and all the line members are going to hear that every single day. So I have some experience with that. So let's do some less obvious roles. So these might still be a little bit obvious, but it's going to be a lot more dependent on kind of what type of corp you're in. So logistics, so that was my job. So if you're a high-sec corp, maybe you can just hire Red Frog to move your stuff around. It's not that big of a deal. Maybe you don't have any bosses to deal with, like Brave right now. So maybe you don't need that. We got recon. So recon, again, that's going to vary a lot on the corporation. So kind of where your diplomats are doing a lot of things to figure out who to shoot at, who not to shoot at, the recon guys are working to figure out the guys that you want to shoot, what they're up to. If they're going to show up to the fight, what they're going to bring to the fight. They might get you bosses in system before it. They might get you scouts. They might get you sinos. There's a lot of important things that the recon guys can do. HR. So most corps don't need an HR person. Brave Newbies does. We love our drama. We love our drama, so sometimes we need someone to sit there and kind of put out the fire a little bit. So these might be, dealing with conflicts, dealing with blue shooting incidents. Maybe that goes to Diplo, maybe it goes to HR. It depends if they're shooting internal blues or external blues. Teachers. So in Brave, we have our Brave Dojo. So we have our senseis and our senpais. These guys are going to hang out in the Brave Dojo chat channel, Brave Dojo comms, and they're going to look for new guys asking stupid questions. They're going to help them out. We do classes, stuff, like eUni, RVB. They're going to run classes and teaching fleets and stuff. This is a great, great, great thing you need to have for any new bro-focused organization. Maybe PL doesn't need as many teachers because they already know everything, but Brave does not. Propaganda. Now, this I always liked about Brave. We always loved having kind of someone in charge of propaganda. So anytime we have some big op coming up, anytime there's a move being planned, people react violently to moving in Brave. So the more funny memes you can make and post to people, the better, because it seems to soften the blow a little bit. Last up, I have IT on here. So again, it's going to depend on the corp. Some guys can get through kind of working with the in-game chat, but once you get to a certain size, that's no longer an option. So you got to have that dude that runs your IT services, your forums, your Mumble, TeamSpeaks, and while he's not necessarily directly leading people, he might have a team of developers and a team of people kind of running the servers. And he's also the guy you really, really, really don't want to piss off, because he can basically take everything offline if he wants to. So the last type I have on here is non-traditional leaders, I like to call them. So the first one I have is the voice of reason. These guys I love. This is anytime things are starting to heat up in comms, people are starting to get mad about something, they're the guy that calms everyone down, tells them, hey, let's wait for more information. I'm sure CCP loves those guys as well every time they announce a new change on the forums. So these guys are super, super awesome, super useful. Kind of the opposite of this would be the voice of irrationality. Those exist as well. They're not so good. They're the ones that fan the flames every single time, try to make it worse and worse and worse. Some of those exist over here, I think. So, sorry guys. It's got to be like an inch away to talk. So, voice of the people. So this is pretty useful for me in a big corporation. It's not possible for me to go on every fleet. It's not possible for me to talk to every single person every single day. So when you're in kind of a big corp, a big alliance, you need those representatives that you trust to actually kind of tell you how the people are thinking. And usually it's good to have a few of them because they all have kind of slightly different ideas of exactly what everyone is feeling at the moment. I like to call this the helper. This is the guy that's maybe always in comms. They're just around. Every time some new bro says, is the undock clear? They'll undock and check it for you. If they ask for help killing a rat in a belt, they're the first ones that warp out there and try to kill that rat and help you out. If you need a gate scouted, if you need to move an industrial 25 jumps through nullsec, they'll scout you the whole way. Those guys are great. And then the eternal optimist and pessimist. So we have a few of those in Brave. So those are the guys that are rah-rah-rahing everything that happens no matter what, no matter how terrible of a decision I make, they'll still be happy about it. Or somewhat more common is probably the pessimist, and they'll poo-poo everything. So how do you become a leader in EVE? I always thought it was a non-traditional way, but it's somewhat, I guess it's not as uncommon as I thought. So there tends to be kind of two types of people. So there's the guys that day one in the corp mail you, and they say, what do I need to do to help out? What can I help out with? What can I do? I want to be an FC. I want to be a Diplo. I want to run something. I want to do. Those guys are awesome, but sometimes a little sketchy. Apparently, these are both number one. And then this was me. I didn't want to be in charge of anything. I tripped and fell into it, and here I am. So a lot of corps, you're going to have some sort of rookie level positions for anyone. Maybe there's junior Diplos, maybe there's junior HR guys, junior FCs, maybe there's 12 different levels of FCs that you get judged about all the time. Maybe there's really easy ways to get involved for any new bro. A lot of times, what I did to become a logistics director is Brave didn't have any logistics at the time. I just started doing it. I started running haulers. Making a new job, honestly, that's one of the best ways to get quickly involved in a corp and start helping out, is just make yourself super useful, make some job that doesn't exist right now that you need to do it. People are going to love that. People are going to respect you for it. Be available. So a lot of times you'll get the guy that logs on once a week or so wanting to help out. That's great. You can give him some stuff to do, but he's only on there once a week. There's only so much diploing. There's only so much HR you could do, and kind of that 4 hours of game time a week. So being online more and more and more is going to help you a lot. And this probably depends a lot on the corp. Sometimes they're all dicks. But I always like the rule, don't be a dick. If someone I think is a dick, I don't want them running anything. I don't want them working with me. I don't want them in command channels with me, anything like that. So why should you lead? I ask myself this every single day. So I love the satisfaction of giving people a way to have fun. You know, I used to love going on fleets. I used to love having fun on those fleets, blowing people up. And then I kind of became a pseudo FC. I FC'd a little bit. And that was even more fun because I still got to blow people up, but at the same time I was providing a platform for other people to do the same thing. So that's what always kind of motivated me to keep doing stuff. It's not necessarily that I love doing logistics or I love taking my jump freighter out, but being able to do that, get those things done, and then you can kind of have everyone else having fun because of that. So every organization needs folks to step up. It doesn't matter if you're, you know, a 10-man mining corp in HiSec. It doesn't matter if you're a 2,000-man alliance out in Null. People need to step up. People need to do things. And maybe there's a guy that's running things right now that's just not very good at it. Maybe the job doesn't exist yet, kind of going back to the last slide. So if you can kind of get in there and do a better job than what's being done right now, that's a great reason to step up. So that's what I got, guys. This is Matthias. Anyone got questions? Sorry? Not enough penis? I tried to cut it out a little bit, so it's only half a penis. No one's got any questions? So I think technically I was number 16. So I think next one is 17.
Let me restate the question. How hard is it to keep the FCs motivated, right, as a leader?
It's difficult. Brave has done a good job at it sometimes, and we've done a pretty terrible job at it sometimes. It's the FCs are the guys that are going to be with the line members every single day. The guys that log on in PvP, the only leadership they're going to interact with on a daily basis is going to be the FCs. So the happier you keep those FCs, the happier the line members are going to be hearing from those FCs. So being able to have a system where you can give them content every single day and those FCs have meaningful, interesting, fun fights to get involved with is super important. If there's no reason to fight, if there's no reason to lead a fleet, FCs are going to be salty about it, and it's going to just transfer right down to the line members. So super important.
How do you weed out the people that actually want to help, that want to be leaders, and opposed to the spies you mentioned earlier?
Mm-hmm. How do I distinguish between them? Very poorly so far. So sometimes, you know, you just gotta give them roles. Sometimes you don't need the roles. Sometimes they're just gonna do stuff. You know, if you're a spy and you come into Corp, and even if I kind of think you're probably a spy, but you're gonna do some useful stuff and I don't have to give you any too important roles, anything like that, I'll let you do it, because I'll let you have your few weeks of fun. I'll let you help out the Corp, help everyone out, and you know, once it starts looking sketchier and sketchier, once you start asking for the config starbase roles and the alts and the leadership corps and stuff like that, then maybe you could back off a little bit. But in general, it's different for every corp. B&I in general, we love people coming in, and we have a pretty good track record finding spies and not necessarily discovering them, but letting them in, and a lot of times they might move their mains over at some point as well. So I got no problem there.
So you mentioned that the teachers would be one of those either lesser known or non-standard leadership roles. Have you considered teaming up with the other new player corps to offer the best possible teaching experience, like teaming up with EVE University and Pandemic Horde? And I don't know if RVB is still around at this point.
They're not. But yeah, we've worked with them before. We're kind of working with Pandemic Horde right now in Cloud Ring. We've worked with eUni in the past where we've had kind of joint teaching fleets, joint fleets, or we've had kind of arranged fights between each other that are explicitly for new bros, where we're all going to fly T1 frigates. We're going to bring 50 dudes versus 50 dudes, stuff like that. So I'm definitely open to more of that. I think it's great. Everyone's kind of in the area now. Everyone's in kind of that northern low-sec area. So absolutely, it's super important, and it makes it a lot easier. If you're having trouble finding guys to step up, if you can find one of those groups that does a really good job at it already, just be friends with them and get them to help you out there.
If you're a newer or smaller corp, how do you make a decision on if you're going to align yourself with a big block? How do you go about doing it, and how would you choose?
So it's not a position that I've been in, right? So I've been leadership in BNI, and I've been kind of alliance exec of Brave Collective and now whatever Brave Squids. So it's not really a position I've been in. It's a position you are in, which is why you're asking me. I just think, you know, being, to me, the best way you can kind of contribute and let people know what's going on and inform me is just talk to me. You know, the Corp CEOs in Brave that are talking to me the most, those are the guys that I tend to have the best relationship with. It's the people I tend to think about first when I'm making a decision. Like, hold on a second, the wormhole guys are going to be really pissed if I, you know, move us to faction warfare or something like that. So maybe. So, you know, just be in contact. You know, I like staying in touch with everyone. So if the more contact you can have with me, the better off you are in general.